Shall GTA chums, as a helicopter enthusiast, I'm going to give you my top 5 helicopters in the entire of GTA. So my favourite helicopter in real life is not in here, the Lynx Wildcat, but Tim Peake's favourite helicopter is. So let's go and see what that is. Kicking things off at number 5, we have the Conid, not the weaponised Conid. This is 2 million worth of helicopter, but it's a civil helicopter. But the reason why it's at number 5 is purely because of the performance, because it's the fastest helicopter in the game. It's also very easy to pilot, so you will have a great deal of fun. And you can even learn on this helicopter to learn what helicopters are all about, so that you become an excellent pilot before getting into the weaponised helicopters. But you know, the downside is, why would you want to do that when you can buy one of the weaponized helicopters above this for a cheaper price, and it's going to serve a better purpose in GTA on the whole, and it'll also teach you helicoptering perhaps just as good as this, because the handling isn't that much worse, or even any worse at all. It's just a bit slower, and that's hardly noticeable slower either. So yeah, that is number 5, purely here for anybody who does helicopter races. Basically, that's the niche. Next, in at number 4, we have an Apache. It's the Hunter aircraft. It has bombs. So it has a lot of ordnance on it. It can take a lot of damage. It's just been taking loads of punishment from the police, and it's finally giving way and starting to smoke a little bit. So it can take a lot of punishment, basically. So we'll press and hold E to close the bomb bay doors, and then we'll get our missile barrage out. So this is the missile barrage, and it's got about 7 missiles. It's just like the AH-10 tank killer. It fires a barrage of missiles just like so. I completely missed there, but they're excellent. Make sure you press and hold until every missile's out as well. Look at that. That is devastating as a weapon by itself. You can do PvP 1 player in this, but it excels 2 player because the gunner in the front has a cannon, and it's just dack, dack, dack. It'll blow up car and car and car. It'll just keep going. That gunner's seat, that gun down below, is absolutely amazing. Can I blow them up with that? Not with 2. Let's get the homing on, see how good that is. There we go. So it's a very good helicopter, and I'm sorry to say it has to only be number 4, but it costs 4 million. 4 million. That's why it's at number 4. No, because it excels at 2 player, and as a 1 player, from a 1 player perspective, it's not quite as good as the helicopters above it. But you can feel free to argue, drop it in the comments why you think it's better. But I probably know why, and it's always welcome though to hear your opinion. Next, at number 3, we have the Savage. It's a gunship, and it's the finest gunship in the game, really. But I bought this first because it's a personal favourite. It's a Hind A. You've got lock-on missiles, but that's not why you buy it. You're buying it for the cannon. The explosive cannon is just absolutely devastating, and there's nothing finer for just blowing people up like dirty bikers or, you know, anybody really. There is an Achilles heel to this helicopter though, as you might be able to tell as you start to see it smoking. And I suppose it has to be this way, because if you didn't make it have paper thin armour, it would be so destructive, nothing would ever beat it. Not that that stops modders in PC GTA, but it's good. It's slow though. So handling wise, you might think it's a bit rubbish because it's quite slow, but it's exactly what you'd expect it to be for one of the, you know, world's greatest heavy lift helicopters in the military field. And you know, the Russians do build the best heavy helicopters, so for that reason it has to be one of yours. I might put my gear down because I'm about to start auto rotating as we get destroyed by these hairy bikers. See, you're trying to get these little chums out here, and we're all getting smashed up. But this is one of my first. This is my first proper helicopter that I bought just purely for pleasure. It's the finest. You know, it's the finest for fun times, for just getting out and having a good old ding dong do. But it's just a shame about that armour. So that is number 3. I don't think these bikers are going to blow us up quite yet. We're not going to end up auto-rotating, unfortunately. I don't know where these other chums are. Oh no. We're losing it. I think they're up there. They're in that corner. Get them. They're in that corner. Get them, helicopter. Come on, you can do it. Somewhere in there is this baddie. Yes, I've done it. Oh, I've done it, and I'm also auto-rotating. This is something helicopters do. For those who wonder what happens when they turn their engines break, they don't just fall to the ground and smash up. They do something like that. Perfect auto-rotation. What a helicopter. At number 2, you have what many people would think is the best helicopter in the game, the ACooler, because it's got stealth mode. We put our weapons away, press H, put our weapons away, just like the Raiju, but it came before the Raiju. You are in stealth mode right now, so that's why it's so great. You can just go around and do your own business without being bothered. But it's a hell of a weaponized vehicle as well. You've got standard missiles, or you can switch those for a missile barrage, which I suspect is a bit better. You've got an upgradable machine gun, which can be a dual machine gun, operatable by the pilot, unlike the Hunter, which makes it a bit better for, well, definitely better for one player. But more importantly, perhaps, you have the bombs. The only helicopter with bombs away. I do like this. It's just a bit of fun. It's an element of fun being able to drop bombs on people's heads. And you've got to love that. You've got to love that in a helicopter that can be so destructive. I mean, both of them, the Hunter and this, have excellent ordnance on them. But what a fine helicopter. And handling wise, I should probably say something about the handling before I finish, because it is a little bit quirky. It's a bit, I think I've got the race handling on, but you see it's a bit jiggly, but it's not as bad as the other vehicle, the Savage, which has a bit more quirky handling, I think, and a bit more, it's just that you need to learn how to fly it, basically. That's the only problem I have with it, but I really enjoy it. I mean, it's not a problem I have with it, really, it's a problem other people have. But maybe when I first drove it, it was a bit of a tricky one. So that's number 2. At number 1, we have 2 helicopters. That leaves the Buzzard. So you want to get that through CEO vehicles and Buzzard. And this is a reason why it's number 1, because you can call it anywhere. Unlike all the other helicopters, you can just call it wherever you want and it'll drop right by you. And it's got some decent weapons as well, but it's got decent pace, just like the other number 1. It's very much the same kind of helicopter, but this one's a bit cheaper, I think. You've got the guns, which are pretty damn good, actually. And you also have the lock-on missiles, which are also excellent and just good for killing NPCs. It's based on the AH-6 light helicopter. It's like, I've seen them in the film Apocalypse Now most recently, but they're also the baddies in Airwolf. And it's just a great looking helicopter. I think this is the better looking and the better of the 2 in first place. But it's just superb. But you need to be in CEO to get it. You can make it a personal helicopter, but that's not where the bonus really is. And I suppose it is a little bit worse than the other joint number 1 helicopter, purely because you have to be in CEO to call this particular one. But look at the pace on it. Look at the detail on the inside. Let's look at the inside. It's just nice. It's just a nice experience, and I just love this helicopter. It's brilliant. I've been flying it a lot more recently because I've been in CEO more recently. So it's excellent. So what's the other joint number 1 then? The other helicopter is of course the Kazatka Sparrow. So if you want to go down to the Kazatka and get that one out, and there she blows. It's based on the Bell 47, which was a helicopter you probably know from the Vietnam program about what's it called? I can't remember now. But it's just a funny looking helicopter, a bit of a quirky one of those early helicopters, but it flies nicely, you know, it handles nicely just like the Buzzard. But it's not, I don't think it's as pretty. Even if it's got a bit, you can actually customize this one because it's a personal vehicle, unlike the Buzzard, the CEO of Buzzard that is, because it only comes in black. So there's swings and roundabouts. They're both a similar kind of price. If you're going to buy one, you're probably going to buy this one because you can do the Cayo Perico heist setups a bit easier with this, because it can be dropped straight into your submarine, which is nice. All the same weapons. So actually, where's my guns? Oh, hang on, we don't have any guns on this one. So, I suppose that's the difference. So, yeah, we don't have any guns. It's a minor issue. I don't often use the guns on the Buzzard anyway. But if that's a problem with you, then you might not want to get this one. And, of course, you need to send it back as well. So when you land it, you need to press, you need to recall it or blow it up. Otherwise there'll be a delay, and there is a delay between spawning these, but they're insta-spawn. The thing is, why have both when you can where you can have both ultimately? Buy both of them when you can afford it, because they're excellent. But I started off with the Buzzer, then moved to the Sparrow with KO Perico. You could just go straight to Sparrow if you so fancy, because you don't need to be in a CEO to spawn this one. So that's your helicopters to the max. I hope you found that video useful, and if you did, drop a like and a subscribe, and I'll try my very best to answer any questions that you might have. And auto-rotate, oh dear, that's not how you do an auto-rotation, by the way, sorry about that. Thank you for watching, everyone.